A courtroom hums with uneasy murmurs, a tense energy filling the air. A tall black man, impeccably dressed in a sharp suit, steps forward, wrists shackled. From across the aisle, the arresting officer smirks confidently, certain he's about to witness this man's downfall. Yet, as the judge glances at the paperwork, the officer's smug grin begins to falter. Suddenly, dread replaces his confidence. The room is gripped by an electrified silence, everyone on edge, wondering who this man really is. Earlier that day, Leon Davis started his morning in a modest suburban neighborhood. It was the kind of place where neighbors exchanged polite nods, but mostly kept to themselves. Standing tall, Leon, a mid-50s African-American man with a calm and composed demeanor, walked with purpose. At sunrise, he was heading to the courthouse, a briefcase in hand. As he approached a bus stop, he noticed an elderly woman struggling to lift her grocery bags onto the bench. Without hesitation, Leon set down his belongings and stepped forward, gently relieving the weight from her trembling arms. "Thank you, son," she whispered with a voice full of gratitude, her eyes glistening. Leon felt a warm satisfaction swell in his chest. Acts of kindness, however small, always reminded him why he valued decency and community. Just as he finished helping her, a police cruiser rolled by. Leon barely paid attention at first. He had no reason to. But then, the car slowed to a crawl. The driver's piercing glare was hard to ignore. Leon adjusted his suit jacket, trying to remain calm, though unease crept into his thoughts. The officer, a white man in his 30s, stepped out, his hand hovering near his holster. His expression was cold, hardened, and filled with unspoken judgment. "You there, hold up," the officer barked, his voice cutting through the early morning stillness. Leon froze, his heart racing. He knew he hadn't done anything wrong, yet the officer's gaze felt accusatory. Nearby passers-by glanced nervously, quickly hurrying away. The officer demanded identification, his tone sharp and unrelenting. Though Leon complied politely, the cop seemed intent on escalating the situation. Thinly veiled accusations followed: suspicious behavior, loitering, potential theft. None of it made sense. But Leon recognized the language of racial profiling all too well. The tension peaked when the elderly woman tried to speak in Leon's defense, only to be curtly silenced. "Step aside, ma'am. I'm handling this," the officer snapped. Leon kept his composure, even as frustration bubbled beneath the surface. He reminded himself to stay calm, knowing things could spiral further if he reacted. But the officer had already decided Leon was guilty of something. In moments, Leon found himself pinned against the cruiser, his arms twisted painfully behind his back. The cold morning air felt even sharper against the injustice he was enduring. Humiliation burned through him, but he stayed silent. Years of enduring both overt and subtle discrimination had taught him that self-control was often his greatest weapon. This was no mere misunderstanding. It was something far worse. And what happened next would change everything.